Did you know? Portraiture is one of the oldest art forms to exist in the world, tracing its origins back to ancient Egypt. Over the years, forms, mediums, and styles have evolved, but the constant has been its role in memorializing people and their lives. So now let's take a closer look at two portraits, with Betsy from the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., and Arnika from the MAP team, as they piece together two works, separated by boundaries but united in honoring two women who once lived. Welcome back to another episode of Museums Without Borders.
What is a portrait? A pictorial representation of a person, usually showing the face, is what the dictionary says. But it can be so much more than that. The best portraits give us a sense of an individual beyond their external appearance, a sense of their personality, and a hint of the world in which they lived. The two portraits we're considering today depict women separated by time, geography, and life experiences, but there are many interesting points of comparison between them. On the one hand, we have a portrait painted in 1633 by the Dutch painter Frans Hals of a mature woman whose identity has been lost to us. Our other portrait is a photograph of Maharani Gayatri Devi, a well-known 20th century princess, politician, and fashion icon.
This photograph from MAP's collection features Maharani Gayatri Devi, taken in 1951 by Derek Atkins. The Maharani is gracefully seated on a sofa in profile, wearing a beautiful chiffon sari. Known for her love of chiffon saris in pastel hues and pearls, Maharani Gayatri Devi seamlessly blended Indian traditional outfits with European silhouettes. Rigid expectations associated with feminine attire were challenged by the Maharani through her choice of clothes and accessories. She reinvented the very image of a royal woman by opting for practicality and simplicity over opulence, making her more relatable and approachable.
In contrast to the photograph of the Maharani, almost nothing is known about the subject of Frans Hals's portrait, apart from her age, 60, which is inscribed on the upper left along with the date, 1633. Still, visual and historical clues allow us to piece together a fair amount of information to provide some context for the portrait. Frans Hals lived and worked in the Dutch city of Haarlem, so we can safely assume this woman was from that city as well. Her clothing is a bit old-fashioned, but would have been appropriate for a woman her age. Although her black gown might seem quite plain, when you look closely, you see details like the delicate floral pattern of her bodice and the fine lace trimming her white cuffs and head covering, which suggest that it was actually a costly outfit. Hals was particularly skilled in expressing the subtle variations in different textiles, but I think his greatest talent was in conveying something of his subject's personality in his portrait paintings. With quick, vivid brushstrokes, he recorded this woman's round, rosy cheeks, her twinkling eyes, and her slight smile, which make her seem like she's about to engage us in a friendly conversation. So while, unlike the Gayatri Devi, we may not know facts about the subject of this painting, the way in which Hals has painted her makes her seem very familiar to us, very approachable. Hals's portrait was intended to be an accurate record of this woman's features to preserve her likeness for close friends and family members. Her beauty is natural, not overtly posed or artificial. But I imagine Gayatri Devi was very conscious of the image she presented to the public and of her reputation as a beauty.
While Hal's portrait was very personal and intimate, Gayatri Devi existed as a larger-than-life princess and a progressive political activist, undoubtedly navigating a complex relationship with her public image. Originally a princess from Cooch Behar in present-day West Bengal, Gayatri Devi later ascended to the title of Maharani of Jaipur, emerging as the face of Indian royalty, both nationally and internationally. She played a role in reshaping gender debates in the subcontinent and was in fact the one who abolished the Pada system in Jaipur. Photography helped in shaping public perceptions of her, capturing not only the aesthetics, but also the socio-political context that defined her identity. Her life captures the intricate interplay between tradition and modernity, aristocracy and democracy, and the personal and the political. Her story reflects the complexities of navigating a rapidly transforming socio-political landscape in a newly independent nation. This raises questions around gendered identities in portraiture. While she's often viewed as a symbol of feminine beauty and regality, this photograph also captures her role beyond these conventions. What might the body language of the woman in Hal's painting suggest about her personality? This also makes me curious as how contemporary viewers perceive and interpret both these works from such different time periods, of course keeping in mind modern beauty ideals.
I love thinking about how our women's friends and family members might have viewed this portrait. Her pose, seated in a sturdy wooden chair, is fairly standard. The hand gripping the arm of the chair gives an impression of strength and a certain authority. The small book that she holds is meant to be understood as a devotional text, suggesting that religious faith was an important guidepost in this woman's life. What sets this portrait apart for me is the way in which Hals has given us the suggestion of a smile. This is something that you don't often see in Dutch portraits of the 1600s, and it adds so much personality to the portrait. I imagine this woman had quite a witty sense of humor.
That is so remarkably fascinating, and the photograph of Gayatri Devi similarly shows a very approachable side of the Queen. Her hands seem to be held in a way suggesting that she is not entirely comfortable with posing. Dressed in a dazzling sari, gazing out of the frame of the photograph, she embodies a woman who does not just represent a certain class or ideal, but personality.
By looking at the portrait of a woman aged 60 alongside the photograph of Maharani Gayatri Devi, we uncover the duality existent between anonymity and celebrity. Simultaneously, we explore the interplay of evolving beauty and stylistic trends across different mediums and time periods. That's it from us today. Join us next time for another dialogue in a new episode of Museums Without Borders. Check out our channel for more such episodes, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.